y'all, welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. I know it is December, but I want to do today as a Thanksgiving wrap up, mainly because I showed you these 2 pages as the simple page kits, and I used my knowledge that I had from how to take my pictures, how to print my pictures, all of that, to complete these 2 pages. So I wanted to kind of talk you through them really quickly. This was the simple page kit from Creative Memories. I did it as is, but I did go back and add some embellishments. This one was actually another embellishment I had. I added some decorations from its fall, y'all. This sticker came from the simple page kit, and I believe this one may have come from another fall pack. So I added lots of other fall things. But remember, I talked to you about developing pictures vertically. And I did horizontal pictures, but added lots of pictures on my vertical picture layout so I could get a lot of pictures in. These are actually 2 different events. So I added the tickets and the table card placeholder here. I added the invitation here. But I got 2 different events on these 2 pages that I did using the simple page kit. Well, then I used the measurements from the simple page kit and created another page. And I was able to use it for this. Here again, I had lots of horizontal pictures, but remember I talked to you about making filler pictures, and these were our plates and napkins. This is a little of my decoration. I actually had a meme that I had pulled off of Facebook that I thought was really pretty. So I was able to use those filler pictures to add a little more on these pages to make them so they wouldn't be so empty. You know, in my mind, I feel like they've got to be full of pictures. So I used this picture of our whole family as my main focus. It is a 4x6 almost. Our background here, I think, is about 5.5. So the picture is just a little bit smaller than that. But I was able to get a lot on these 2 pages just by changing the sizes of my pictures. Is that a problem? No, the pictures don't stand out quite as much when they're smaller. But I've used a 2-page spread to highlight this event where all my kids were here for Thanksgiving, rather than taking it to 4 or 6 pages, which gets a little overwhelming and fills up our albums very quickly. So I'm very pleased with this. This particular embellishment was a print and cut I did on my Silhouette machine. This sticker, I believe, came from the simple page kit, as did these possibly. But remember, I used some leftover fall paper to create this layout. Now, I want us to go on to one more Thanksgiving layout. And this one is going to be our sketchbook page, number 104. Remember, we are almost done with the sketchbook. We have, can't get the pages to turn. We have one more sketch page after today. And then there's some fast album formulas, and I'm going to be showing you one of those at least. But I wanted us to look at this particular page because I think this will be good to finish out some of my Thanksgiving pictures. It does have room for lots of pictures on the double spread, lots of sizings, and that's going to make it really good when I print these myself. Now, one thing that I looked at on this that I thought was really pretty is the way they did these diamond shapes here. So I do want to show you how to make those. And for that, you're going to need your custom cutting system mat. You'll need your red blade with the smallest circle pattern. And then you'll need a trimmer. It could be your little photo trimmer or your 12-inch trimmer. And let's just start by making some of those little diamond designs. So I have some leftover mats that I had used for a project, and that's what I'm going to be using to make these diamondy designs. Remember, these are double-sided. So I need to cut these at 2x2. We need to have 2x2 squares. And I'm cutting 3 mats at a time here. This may or may not go well, but we'll give it a shot. And that one is going to be just a touch too small. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a 10th one to make that last little bit. So in cutting these 3 at a time, I'm almost going to make it. Remember, these are 2x2 squares. And this will end up giving me 9 little pieces. Oh, that one's just a little bit too small too. So I've got 6 to start with. I'll show you how to make them, and then I will make the others off camera to finish this layout. So when we've got our 2x2 squares, now remember with this being double-sided, I've got lots of options to choose from here. But I'm going to take 3 of these at a time, and I'm just going to lay them on my mat. Now, I'm holding them pretty carefully so they don't move around. And, you know, as soon as I say that, I move it around. And then I'm going to line up the outside edge of my circle centered in this side of that square. Now, I'm leaving a little bit of extra. I'm going to pick this up so you can see it. When I line it up, I'm leaving just a touch on each corner so that when I cut it with my red blade, it's going to end up at the corner. You know, your red blade's going to cut out just a little bit. So you want to be sure that you're leaving some space so you're not going to cut your corner completely off. And then I'm going to line up those prongs. And I'm kind of starting in the middle of this. I don't want to start on the corners because I don't want to pull up my corners. And I just went from side to side and I cut off that little bitty bit. And then I'm going to rotate this and do the same thing on all 4 sides. And that gives me that little diamondy look. Now, it would be much easier to just do 2x2 squares and be done with this. But I just thought that diamondy look was nice. I didn't know if you would know how to do it. And, you know, trying more in 24, I decided I needed to branch out and try something a little bit different. And by doing this, something new, something I've never done before, and I like the look of it a lot. Is it fast? No. But fortunately, we only need about 10 of them to do this whole layout over on this side. Because they didn't use them on this side, that helps us tremendously. I do like, too, that this is a double page layout, and it shows us how to make this a double page without having to make them both sides matchy-matchy. You know, we've talked about that a lot through this sketchbook, that both sides don't have to mirror one another. It's okay. So see, I've got those cute little diamonds. Now that you know how to do this, I'm going to do the rest off camera for you, and then we'll get back to our layout. So I've got all of the little diamonds cut, and I did cut a few extras in case I needed some color choices on those. And I'm going to move those to the side so we can lay out the rest of our page and get everything stuck down. Now, I'm going to be using papers from the Autumn Harvest. That was an older autumn paper pack that I really liked. And what I have pulled are 3 different ones. I pulled this plaid, this with the little dots on it. It's just got a lot of little color variation. I love that. And then I pulled this wood grain. Now, I'm looking at the cutting guides here, and the only problem that I'm running into in my head is the fact that they've made this section here and this section here a little bit bigger than a 6-inch wide. And I like that. I like the variations in size on that. My biggest problem is I only have 1 sheet of this wood grain. And I can use the wood grain here and then use it again here, which might be a good option for me. Or I could just cut it at 6 and use it for these 2 center sections and make my photos just a little smaller. I think in my mind, as I'm playing it out in my head, I'm going to cut this one first out of this brown and then make this one over here whatever is left. So it does show me that this is 5 5/16 wide. I'm going to have to pull the arm out for that. And the 16ths are those little bitty spots. And so 5/16 is going to be just a touch more than a half. let me think. No, 4/16 would be 1/4. So it's going to be just a little more than a quarter. Y'all know how I am about measuring. So 5 5/16. I'm going to cut that. That leaves me with just a little more than 6 here. Actually, just a little touch more than 6.5. So that's going to be my middle section here. This one is going to be my far right section. And then we just need here and then the side over here. Now, because this section is going to have to go with this to make a full page, we need to cut our next piece the same size as this one. And that's going to be 4/8. That's going to be about 6 5/8. I'm going to use my little dotted for that. And I'm trying to think through, you know, I always mat my pictures in that, I use the white backgrounds to mat my pictures when I'm printing them myself. So my white is not going to show up well on this. And I'm going to have to do some finagling. And then this piece of paper, I'm also going to use on the other side, and I need it 4 5/16. So it's going to need to be about that big. I'm not going to cut it down. I'm probably just going to cover it over. So that takes care of the right side. This is going to be on the left. And then I need that one last border, which is a 1.5 inch border. And I felt like this plaid would be a really pretty one to do that with. That'll just draw in lots of colors, so I can add a little bit of everything to this. And then they've also used a border, like a border strip here. I'm going to wait about that because I may have some stickers that we can put there. But let's go back and piece this and get all of this put together. Now, I know that this needs to stay full size. And I'm pasting this on the back of a cover sheet from the Autumn Harvest paper pack. It's actually from the paper I'm using. That doesn't always happen. And then this one is actually going to take up all of that space just about. And then I'm going to overlap that. So we'll add this little dotted. I do want to thank you for all the feedback I got about how to take your pictures, how to print your pictures. I really felt like those videos might not be very good, that maybe you would know all that stuff and it would just be a waste of your time. But I'm glad that so many of you learned some little tip or trick. That's always my goal, is to teach you something you may not have seen, you may not have known. And I'm not a camera expert or a printer expert by any means, but I love sharing the things that I've learned, and it looks like some of that was beneficial to some of you, so I'm really, really happy about that. I was just checking size on that. For some reason, that felt small. But thanks for your feedback. Thanks for your comments. Somebody mentioned that there is even a thing on the iPhones now where you can do a cleanup feature where you can get rid of some background. I did check into that because, boy, would I love that. I had updated my phone to the new system, the 18.1, but it's not just a new system thing. You can update your phone to the 18.1, but that cleanup feature only works on some of the newer iPhones, and mine is a 13, so it doesn't work on that. I think it started with the 15s, maybe 14s or 15s, but you may have a cleanup feature on your phone to get rid of some unwanted background. Wouldn't that be awesome? So that's something you can check into. I won't be doing a video on that until I update my phone, or until one of my kids brings their phone here and I use it to show you what's what on that. But I think it's a fabulous thing. I wish I had that. All right, I'm going to lay my diamonds out. And I'm sure that all of my stuff is not cut exactly to size, because you know how I am, and it doesn't always work the way I think it's going to. This with the words on it, if I put them, they're going to kind of go sideways. That might bother me, so I may just leave those words off. I don't really want that over by that plaid already. So laying these out will be part of the hardest part of getting this done. Just trying to figure out exactly where these go, but I do like these diamondy shapes. Just something really different, something we've not done before. And I'm just trying to alternate colors. Trying to make sure that nothing is too close. I don't want a real definite pattern on it. And I'm actually ending up with a little bit of a pattern, but not too bad. Let's see if we've got more of that wood grain. I can throw one more wood grain here at the bottom and then cut it off and take it back to the top as well. So I've got all my little diamondy shapes down. I'm going to stick those real quick, and I'm not going to do tons of sticking. If you're real picky about whether your corners are coming up or not, you probably want to use repositionable tape to stick this, but I know a page protector is going to go on this pretty quickly, and I'll just be really careful when I'm putting the page protector on. So I'm just sticking a piece of regular tape kind of in the center just to get them anchored. And I'm looking at this. In order to keep this kind of straight, I'm just looking at the points right up through the middle. This would be a good place to use that zero centering ruler if you feel like you need to measure. Mine are overlapping a little here, but if I go back and add a sticker border or another border there, that's not going to be an issue. And then here, I'm just kind of making the point, hit the middle here, and the top and bottom there. Might help if I actually get it stuck. We were at church Sunday, and several people said, oh, it looked like y'all had lots of Thanksgiving, because I do post a good many pictures on Facebook. We did have 3 days of really fun Thanksgiving. We had different sides of the family in. The kids were all home. I hope you also had a good Thanksgiving, but boy, am I excited about Christmas, when it just seems like we get more quality family time. And that's what it's all about to me, is the family time. So in my next video, which will be coming on Saturday, my intention is to show you a gift idea. If you have just been thinking really hard about that perfect gift to give someone, I'm going to be making a little album for my granddaughter, and I'm going to show you how to get that started quickly and easily. It'll be using an 8x8 album, but because of this handy dandy book, you could use lots of different size albums. All right, so look at that. We've got that 2-page layout done. Didn't take forever, but it's already really pretty and taking shape. So all the background pieces are attached, and I wanted to show you what I did as far as photos are concerned. I used some of my mats, even journaling mats that I don't necessarily intend to journal on, and I have used those just to create a background on these pictures. So here I developed 2 pictures side by side. These I developed 3 pictures side by side. Over here I was able to make a collage look with some longer pictures, some smaller pictures, and look at all the pictures I was able to get on those 2 4x6 sheets. So we just need to stick these down, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom here, and I know I've got that because I had kind of laid these out. I loved this box, and I wanted to pull that in because it pulls in so much color going on around this page. And I'm just lining these up. These were 4x6 mats. Now, a couple of them I did have to cut down just a hair. They were the larger 4.5 by 6.5 mats. But in doing that, I've allowed myself to add more color to the middle and get my journaling done, get lots of pictures on the page. And, you know, that's part of always my goal. Now, this one I did have one more picture to go on, but I wanted you to see that that's a journaling mat with a journaling box in the middle. It's okay to cover those things up. You don't use every single one of them, but that gives me that nice brown background to correspond over here. without having to cut a sheet of paper. And I'm all about not wasting paper to cut little mats if I can get away with it. I know most people don't use these mat packs that come with the Buy It All bundles, but I think the mat packs are fantastic. They just add a little extra color, not a lot of work to do with them. I'm seeing these may be just a touch too big, so I'm going to slide this one on top of this just a little bit to make sure that we can fit all of these on this page. All right, and then I've got these two. These were 4x6s that I added a collage to. And look at all the pictures on this page. This would have been a Thanksgiving celebration that would have probably taken me 6 pages, maybe even more to complete. But I've got all of this on 2 pages, which is really plenty. I don't need a million pages of each event. I was looking back at my stickers, and I liked the leaves here, but this sticker is going down through here, and I felt like that was too light. It's not going to be enough contrast. The acorns are pretty cute, and I'm not opposed to them. Let's just give it a shot and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's kind of cute, and it brings more brown in, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a sticker on this side as well, just to even out some spacing here. This was not shown on the initial sketch. There was not a sticker on this side, but I do feel like that adds a little something extra over here. And just gives me a nod to having a little bit of matching on both sides, even though they're not matchy-matchy pages. All right, so let's pull the sketch back out. So we've got this strip. We did it like this one. We added a border here. They've added a circle here, which I may or may not do. Look at all these tons of pictures on here. They actually added a title with journaling over here, but I did my journaling here. I don't necessarily feel like it has to have a title. There's not a lot of room for embellishments on this page. So I'm not going to try to force something that isn't really there. I do have some cute stickers though, and I was looking at this particularly. I liked the way they had put the circle. They had put theirs up at the top, but I think I'm going to put a circle down here at the bottom and add some pumpkins just to give me a little more color, and then some words on that. But I am going to pull my anti-stick tool. Remember, we've been using this a good bit. I like that because it allows me to add my foam squares. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this. And my foam squares. All right. That anti-stick tool just gives us so many more options as far as the foam squares are concerned. Now this I am going to add right in there because it keeps that circular shape. This one I'm going to kind of offset to the side, so I'm sticking my foam square more to the side of that. And then let's see if we've got any words that would just be fantastic for this. That fave season is cute. The beautiful is cute. I had some other stickers, these leaves, but they just really didn't match what I had going on over there. Oh, that sweet as pie. Surely that could be used on some of our cute pictures with our kids. That gather might work on something, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Grateful. That sounds like a good one to use. Let's see what we can do with these. So I could stick grateful. I think I'll put it right there. So the bulk of it is on that red diamond. That's going to make it show up a lot better. I'm going to kind of have it touch things so it's not flying out in space, but not really overlapping everything. And that one's going to stick right there. So we've got our embellishment cluster here. I do want to add this sweetest pie up here with our little cuties. And again, I'm going to go ahead and anti-stick that. Somebody asked me not long ago, why do you anti-stick a sticker? That seems counterproductive. I just love the foam squares. I think they just add so much, and just having that little bit of texture there, that little bit of raised area, creates a shadow that just lets you know there's a little bit more going on than just a flat picture. This gather, maybe down the side over here where we've got all the people. And again, you know what I'm doing. Anti-stick and a couple of foam squares. And I will put one there, top and bottom, just because it's a longer sticker. And I can overlap my pictures pretty easily because things are kind of offset there anyway. All right. So there are another 2 of my Thanksgiving pages done. So using our simple page kit, we managed to do 4. We've just done 2 more. I know this might not shock you at all if you know me, but I still have another family gathering to do for Thanksgiving. So there'll be at least a couple more. You probably won't see those unless I do an album flip through. But I'm really pleased at this. Now, this was our sketch page 104 in our sketchbook. There's only one more sketch left, but on the next video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a quick 8x8 fast album formula in case you need to get a Christmas present ready for someone using an 8x8 album. Until I see you next time, happy scrapping.